I made this video the last 2 years on 2K, and every year I get a lot of positive feedback of you guys telling me that it helps you guys out, and this year might be the best year to do it because of all the new badges that we have in NBA 2K22. So look, before I get into the video, if you guys haven't already, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video. Both of them help me out a ton. This is my player right now, and I'm gonna be starting off with shooting badges, and then I'll do playmaking badges, then I'll do defensive badges, and I'll finish off with the finishing badges. I'll let you guys know what the best badges are for each category. Like I said, starting with shooting. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Alright, so like I said, we're starting off with the shooting badges. Now, I'm gonna fill up what I think are the tier 1 shooting badges, which means the most important shooting badges in the game. Now, when it comes to tier 1 badges, I don't want to put too many, and I feel like this is the perfect amount. 6 badges fit into my tier 1 category, or the most important badges in the game. Now, let's go through them. Blinders. Now, if you guys don't know what blinders is, this was introduced in next gen 2K21, and basically if somebody's next to you, you have somebody crabbed, it just makes it so you see right there on the bottom, you become unfazed by defenders from the side. It says jump shots taken with a defender closing out in their peripheral vision will suffer a lower penalty. Basically, if somebody's next to you and you take a jump shot, you're not going to be contested at all. Hall of Fame blinders is really good this year. Now, the next one, and what I think is probably the most important shooting badge in the game, is Hot Zone Hunter. And this badge is especially important for anybody that doesn't have a super high three-pointer. If you're one of these people with a 70 three-pointer, even in the 60s, and you have Hot Zone Hunter on, you really shouldn't miss. Now, Hot Zone Hunter, we know what this badge does, but I need to let you guys know, make sure you have hot zones before you equip this badge. Because if you don't have hot zones, then the badge is literally pointless. It's like not even having a badge. Next, Green Machine. Just like Hot Zone Hunter, it was introduced in 2K20, and since it's been introduced, it's just been one of the core shooting badges that you should have on. You get 2 greens, next thing you know, your green window is huge. Everybody knows Green Machine, and everybody knows for years it's been one of the best badges. And now I talked about Green Machine and Hot Zone Hunter for a couple years. Let's talk about Deadeye. Because Deadeye is a badge that has been a core shooting badge for any type of shooter since I think badges were introduced in 2K, right? Ever since you've been able to use Deadeye, you should use Deadeye, especially in this game. If you guys have noticed how people contest your shots in this game, nearly every contest is a late closeout, which means Deadeye will be even better. And the last 2 tier 1 shooting badges are new badges that were introduced this year. The first one is Sniper. Jump shots taken with slightly early or slightly late timing will receive a boost, while early or late shots will receive a bigger penalty. So if you guys remember flexible release, this is the opposite of flexible release. So if you can time your jump shot really well, put Sniper on, because it'll make it so if you do get a slightly early, like you barely miss that green window, it'll make it so the shot goes in more. It is the opposite of flexible release and a really good badge this year. And lastly, Stop and Pop. You see what it says? Boost shot rating on standstill 3-pointers after dribbling. Basically, after you dribble, say you size someone up, you want to take a shot, Hall of Fame Stop and Pop will pop up. A really good badge, and the last of my tier 1 shooting badges. Now for my tier 2 badges, it's basically every other shooting badge minus a couple, right? All of these shooting badges are really good. That's why you want a lot of shooting badge points this year, because there's a lot of shooting badges that are really good. Now, I'm not going to cover catch and shoot, corner specialist, difficult shots. If you guys have played 2K, you guys know what they do. Makes it so your catch and shoots better, makes it so you shoot in the corner better, makes it so you can fade better. That's it, right? But the rest of these badges are kind of new, except for volume shooter, which you see boost your shot percentage as shot attempts accrue throughout the game. Basically, the more shots you take, the higher your rating will be. But there's 2 new badges I kind of want to focus on here. That's Chef, and that's Limitless Spot Up, right? Now, in 2K22, there is no limitless range. These are your limitless range badges, but they're just not automatically limitless range. You see limitless spot up, you gotta spot up if you want this to activate. So if you're a stretch big, if you don't have the ball in your hand, it's a good badge. But if you are the ball handler, there's no reason to put that on. Now Chef, people think this is the new limitless range, but it's not. This is for off the dribble. So this is not regular limitless range. This is like whenever you take a deep fade. Whenever you take a deep, this is basically circus threes, but for every type of off dribble shot and from deeper. That's what Chef is, okay? So don't think these two badges are just limitless range, because they're actually different. Mismatch Expert is another new badge in 2K22, and you see it's basically, it tells you what it does right there. Whenever somebody is taller than you, it makes it so they get less of a shot contest. So say you play stage, or you play a lot of 2s or 3s, you use screens, and you're gonna go against, you know, somebody that their center is going to pick up. That's where this Mismatch Expert badge will come in handy, and it's actually a really good badge. I recommend trying it out. And then Set Shooter, I kind of put into the category with Corner Specialist and Catch and Shoot and Limitless Spot Up. It's a good shooting badge, but don't put it on unless you're just straight up spotting up every single time, because you have to catch the ball, hold it for a second or two, and then shoot. This would be a good badge if you're just being left wide open. And then the last of the shooting badges, I would say these are tier 3 badges, and I'm not going to say they're bad except for maybe slippery off ball, but these badges all have something unique. You have to have a unique play style. Like for example, me, I would never use circus 3s. Ticino, he would use circus 3s, right? Fade Ace, I would never use Fade Ace, but if you're a post scorer, you would want to use Fade Ace. So it's not like these badges are bad, but you have to have a unique play style to fit any of these badges in. Alright, so after shooting badges, let's get into the playmaking badges. And there's a lot of new ones, and you guys are going to see there's a lot of badges that I'm going to fit into this tier 1 category. Look, there's so many badges that are in this tier 1 category that I'm not even putting Floor General or Dimer there yet. That's how many new playmaking badges and good playmaking badges there are this year. So let's start off with the obvious. Handles for days, quick first step, unpluckable, right? Everybody knows since 2K20 you've needed these 3 badges absolutely no matter what, no excuses. Handles for days, pretty simple. You dribble the ball, you lose less stamina. Quick first step, anytime you want to, it says it right there, provides more explosive first steps out of triple threat and size ups. Anytime you do any of your size ups, any of your dribble moves, you're just going to get a faster speed boost with quick first step. And unpluckable, I mean, it's literally explained itself. You will not get ripped as often. And in this game, 2K22, you're going to need unpluckable because you will get ripped a lot. And bailout, the last badge that is returning that I'm talking about that's in purple, it's really, really important this year because with the new dribble moves, you're going to need bailout on at least silver, okay? I think you should have bailout at least silver. I most likely am going to rock this on gold, and if I have extra badge points, I will try it Hall of Fame. But I want to talk about this quick chain badge. Improves the ability to quickly chain dribble moves together. You see, a player with this badge can quickly put together a series of moves while sizing up their opponent. Basically, if you thought you dribbled fast before you had this badge on, well, put this badge on and then see how fast you dribble. It just makes it so you dribble faster, your size ups are faster. Everything that you do dribbling wise becomes faster with quick chain. This is one of, if not the most important playmaking badge this year. Now, Bullet Passer. If you are on current gen, I don't think Bullet Passer is as important as next gen, but it's still good. It's a great badge, but look at how many badge points you need. Like, there's so many playmaking badges that honestly, I don't even know if you're gonna have enough for Bullet Passer. And same thing with Hyperdrive. I have a 6'3" play shot, so personally, I don't think I need Hyperdrive, but if you are somebody that ISOs, Hyperdrive is a must. Whenever you go to drive past your defender, you just move quicker. So this will be really good for ISO players. And then tight handles and ankle breaker. I'll throw these two together. You guys know what ankle breaker does. It makes it so you can break ankles easier. and tight handles. You guys remember 2K20, the explosive behind the back. You had tight handles Hall of Fame, your defender's they're gonna get a weird animation every time. It's the same thing this year. Hall of Fame tight handles, combine that with the behind the back, well, your defender's getting broken down once again. Now, I want to talk about Floor General and Dimer separately than any other badge, because these can be classified as tier 1 badges depending on what you play and who you play with. If you want to help your teammates out, you think your teammates need help, or you're just a point guard that passes a lot, put these badges on. You guys know Floor General, Hall of Fame, everyone's offensive attributes go up +4, gold +3, silver +2, etc. Dimer, you pass to your teammate, they have a higher chance of it going in. It boosts their shot percentage. And then the rest of these badges, honestly, there's really no need for them. Just like I said in my shooting badge, when I was talking about the shooting badges, they fit unique play styles. Every other playmaking badge is just so much more important than these ones that you shouldn't really use these. You will not find a use for these more than you will find a use for something like quick first step or quick chain or handles for days, right? So I'm not going to go through these badges because you shouldn't use them unless they fit your specific playstyle, which is probably less than 1% of people watching this video. And next is going to be the defensive badges. And they did add some new defensive badges, but not as much as the other categories. So let's get into the tier 1 defensive badges. Now this is unique because the tier 1 defensive badges depend on what position you play, right? Because if you're a lockdown defender or a guard, you don't need brick wall, you don't need box, you don't need rim protector, right? But if you are a center, then these are tier 1 must-have badges. That's why I have those in gold. But no matter what position you play, clamps, menace, intimidator are must-have defensive badges, okay? You guys know clamps. It makes it so your defense is better. You have more bump against them. Intimidator, it says it right there. Whenever you're in front of somebody, they miss shots more often. It's just a super good badge. And menace, one of the new badges added into the game. Look what it says. While guarding and staying in front of an opponent, their attributes will drop if good defense is being played. So if you have menace and you're bumping somebody, their attributes are dropping. Every single one of them. Their ball control, their speed, their three-pointer, every single attribute. Menace will be a really, really good badge this year. And then the rest of these, except for Interceptor, okay, we know what Interceptor does. Makes so you get more passing lane steals, but the rest of these are for centers. Rim Protector, you need Rim Protector if you're a center. You need Rebound Chase if you're a center. Let you grab rebounds more. Let you box people out more with box, brick wall, set bigger screens, chase down artists. You can use this on a lock too, I guess. Just makes it so that you get more chase down blocks. Now I'm leaving Pickpocket on its own because of how unique 2K22 is. On-ball steals are super prevalent this year. So you want Pickpocket, okay? Whatever you can get Pickpocket on, max it because of how good on-ball steals are in 2K22. And then every other defensive badge fits in this tier 2 category, right? Maybe something like off-ball pest would be like, not as good as these other badges. But just like the playmaking badges, there's just not enough badge points to have all those tier 1 badges that I showed you and all these badges, right? So I would recommend putting on those tier 1 badges, and then you won't have enough badge points. So stuff like Pogo Stick, you know what it does. You can spam Y or triangle, whatever system you're on. You can spam jump in the paint without as much of a penalty. Tireless Defender, you don't lose energy as fast. But let's talk about some new badges like Hustler, a player that has a nose for the ball. Just makes it so whenever somebody, ball's on the ground, you run faster to it. Not really an important badge, but it is a new one. Now, Ball Stripper. This might be a sleeper for centers or guards. If somebody goes up for a dunk and you're a small guard, you can't stop them, try spamming square or try spamming X. And if you do have Ball Stripper on, it could actually come in handy. And lastly, we're gonna do finishing badges, and let's get right into the tier 1 finishing badges. Now, we all know Posterizer. As long as this badge is in the game, it's gonna be the best finishing badge in the game because it just makes it so you get contact dunks. But there's 2 new finishing badges that I really want to talk about, and that's Limitless Takeoff as being the first, right? It just makes it so you can take off from further. You can dunk from further, you can do layups from further, is just a really good badge that even if you're not a slasher, right? So for my guard, I have one finishing badge, and of course I have it on limitless takeoff, so I can just take off from further. Super good badge. And mouse in the house. You guys see it. When attacking a smaller defender, there will be a higher chance of successfully finishing. So if you're a point forward, you're a 6'5", you're ISOing, this is a must-have badge, because most people that are guarding you are going to be my height, 6'3", 6'2" play shots, and you have mouse in the house, posterizer, limitless takeoff, and this fearless finisher badge. Well, guess what? You're gonna finish on them near every time. And mouse in the house and giant slayer basically cancel themselves out. They're basically the same badge, but you know, opposite. This is better for smaller defenders. This is better for bigger defenders. So whichever you go against, you're gonna have a finishing badge that activates against your defender. And then lastly, unstrippable. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You have an open dunk, next thing you know they spam X and they get a lucky steal on you. Not anymore. Not with unstrippable. That will not happen. And I'm not talking about center badges for finishing, right? A bunch of these finishing badges are for post scorers, and I'm not trying to help any post scorers out, let's be honest. So these are the tier 2 badges, better at hitting floaters, slithery finisher. You could even classify slithery finisher as a tier 1 badge. I could have put this in tier 1, but I didn't know if there was enough badge points for that this year. But you guys know slithery finisher, it's so you avoid contact. Putback boss, better at putbacks. Lob city finisher, better at finishing lobs. And acrobat, and make it so if you go for a euro, if you go for a spin layup, that it'll have a higher chance of going in. And that's it. That is the best badges for NBA 2K22. I wanted to focus on the shooting and playmaking, but for you slashers, you lockdowns out there, I did talk about the finishing and the defensive badges too. So if this video did help you guys out in any way, please do me a favor, leave a like, sub if you're new, and I'm out.